How is everybody doing? Probably gonna have to adjust the angle here in just a minute. But let me get the chat up and running. And we will go from there. So, not sure if anybody will join tonight or not. It is a little bit late, but I have crafts I have to do. And there were a few people on a Twitter poll who said they would want to join in crafts tonight, so I figured I'd just do it live. Hey Kazoodles, how are you? This is probably gonna bother people. Sorry for the moving, but I've got to angle everything down a little bit so you can see what we're doing. Hey Beauty Demon, did you have a stream tonight? I can never remember when others have streams, which sounds really bad, and I should probably get better about that, to be honest. So tonight I am starting off by, hopefully I don't get any phone calls. Sorry if you guys hear the vibrating from text messages. I can't tell everybody to not text me. I need to print off the vinyls for my brother and my dad's cups tonight. And I need to do the second layer on their cups. So that is what I'm starting off with. And I just need to find my Cricut mat. Hey, Patsy loves Halloween. Thank you for the compliment. Yeah, I did. And I realize that not everybody knows that I chopped all of my hair off, but I did. Feels much better. Where did I put that mat? I just grabbed those mats out like 2 days ago. And I don't know where I put it. I might have to use one of my older mats that aren't as sticky. This one will do. This is actually one of the new ones, but I have 2 of these. And I don't know where the other one went. So tonight will be, this first part is probably going to be a little bit boring because I have to actually put everything into Design Space and find everything for that. I got this cute little mold from Walmart. This is like from the food section, but it's silicone so I can put actual like resin in it. So I got this one because it had like, I figured I can put these as like extras in people's orders. I don't know. And I have some here that are curing. These are some of the goodness, I just drew blank, zodiac signs. These are some of the zodiac sign ones that I have just to see how they turn out. I did a couple of test runs. These aren't totally cured. I poured them earlier today, so they are kind of cured, but not totally solid. So I keep telling my husband that I'm going to need more drawers because everything is just kind of getting, I come to sit down and I feel like super prepared and then I get overwhelmed the second I sit down because there's just so much different things in different stages all around me. Part of that is my own doing though, so. All right. Put those right there for now. This can go down here. And tonight I can, depending on how long I stay on live, I need to do the final layer of epoxy on Britt's cup because it's dry. And then that will be ready to ship whenever she is ready for it. This cup, I think I'm probably gonna redo. I just don't like how it is. I wouldn't want to carry this cup, and I don't want this to be my demo, so I want to do that, like crack it and get the epoxy off of it and start over. So I've got a couple of cups like that I need to redo. So once I have seen people do these cups and get them done successfully using a different method than the epoxy method. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I just need to I'm waiting for some holographic, big tubs of holographic glitter that I ordered. There's a particular one I have in mind. Hopefully that'll get here this week. It should be here this week. I thought it was going to get here today, but it didn't. Hey, Lisa. Yeah, Beauty Demon, you'll have to let me know, and I'll at least pop in. I wasn't doing too much before this. I was just cooking dinner and doing some stuff around the house. Hey, Sharon, how are you? Yes, the cup that was on the thumbnail was this cup that we did the second layer on. I know it's kind of hard to see from back there, but these two cups that we put second layers on are done. And then just trying to get some stuff done. Yes, for Brit's cup, I did a split cup, half like it's split down the side. One side's one theme and the other side is a different theme. For her cup, I did, this is her cup. And the lighting is actually really good right now, so you can actually see how pretty that glitter is. I'm obsessed with that glitter. I bought a 4 ounce of this glitter because I like it so much. And then this side is for Axel. I had a couple of different ideas for the side with Axel, but I ended up just doing it that way. I was going to do it a totally different way, but it turned out good. I like the way it turned out. So, just gonna tear all of this off since I started. This is what happens when I sit down. It doesn't happen so much when I'm in here by myself, but when I'm in here filming, I get easily distracted. When I'm coming in here for a sole thing and it's just me, I can typically keep to that one thing and get it done, and then I lose myself and start doing all kinds of stuff. So the biggest tumblers that we have are, it's just me, that I have is the 30 ounce. It's hard to get the bottom here off. Might have to get the X-Acto knife. I've kind of thought, and I'm not going to do it right away. I'm going to wait until I get everything going and to see how everything goes. But I kind of want to eventually get into like the rhinestones too. Because these kinds of cups look a lot, in my opinion, I like these cups with the rhinestones versus glittering them, or using these cups just to have vinyl, like personalizing them rather than glittering them. But I do want to try and do the tack it method on one of these. So I'm going to put this That's gonna be my tester cup. I got more of those today because I really like how convenient they are. Eventually I will sell on Etsy, but for now I am just gonna be selling through the business social medias, which I have started to share here and there. I think it was on Twitter and on my community tab. I put out, I don't want to use white. I put out the links for the channel because this week will be the last week that I do these live streams on my main channel. All of my crafting live streams after this week will be on the crafting channel. Just to really, and I know to some people that doesn't make sense, but it's more or less just to separate the content. Like this channel is still gonna have everything that it's had. It's just no longer gonna have the crafts on it. And I will probably move over the stuff like my makeup videos, like some of those will go over on that channel, I'm sure. And just let that be my creative outlet space. I'll still keep some of it here, but this channel is just gonna be what it has been prior to my crafts. I'm just gonna use brown because I don't use brown vinyl that often. Because this is not going to stay on the cup. This is just for the outline. I put tape on these like normal tape. You shouldn't do that. If you have vinyl and you're trying to keep your vinyl rolled up, don't put normal tape on it. Put either electrical tape or painter's tape. It's not a huge deal if this is on there, more than rather it's just gonna bother me. So. Hey Dragon Lily, you have not missed much. The crafting channel, let me go, I can grab the link for you guys. Because I don't know if it's gonna pop up in the search bar or not, since it's a new channel. And there's no content on it yet. There will be. It's primarily just gonna be live streams more than anything, but what I think I might do is when I do a live stream, I may then cut down the live stream into like one project and reload that so people can see a project almost all the way through. These are the cups we're completing today. They're wood grain cups. So my hands are going to end up dyed. Last time they were dyed for like 2 days, but that's all right. I know what I'm doing for my dad's cup, and my brother's cup is just gonna be super basic. Oops. So, stay over there. This is always the annoying part with vinyl, is to get it to stick on my mat. I'm not a perfectionist about it, like it lining up. I just don't want bubbles. Because if you have bubbles when you put this on your mat, it's likely to, whatever you're printing, if you print over, like cut over the bubbles, it won't go flat on the cup. And I know I will not use this full sheet. This is what it looks like. So there's no bubbles underneath here. It's just totally on the mat. So I'm gonna leave that right here. You guys cannot see my Cricut, but it's literally right underneath here. I appreciate you guys for going over and subscribing to that channel. If that's the kind of content that you prefer to watch from me, I think it'll be easier. That way if you're not interested in the commentary or like open discussions or anything like that, you won't have to worry about it anymore. So I'm opening up Cricut Design Space, and I'm actually live streaming from my phone, so I can't show you guys my screen. Otherwise, I would show you my screen and show you how I do this part. I will make sure to set up for that in the future. I also have these. I got these to help make some keychains out of some of the stuff that we have. I keep saying we. It's really just me. I mean, my husband helps me occasionally, but not all the time. Got some random little things sitting around here. Okay, so for my dad's cup, what I'm doing is I am going to probably put 2 decals on this cup. I'm going to put one, which will be the American flag backwards. It's for, that's how military patches are. So that'll be on here. And then on the other side, I'm going to put his rank that he retired at on the other side. For my brother, I'm probably just going to put like my beer or something very generic, because I was trying to think of a saying or something that he would enjoy, but I haven't been able to come up with anything. So I am just going to go and look in the Design Space to see if they have those images already in inventory, and if not, I will go find one. So if the images are already existing, it's not so bad. Like if you search and you can find it. But if you have to find one on a different site, it can be a pain. But it's typically only takes a little bit of time. So I'm not seeing the kind of flag I want. Sometimes it's just like on Google, you have to like think of different ways that it'll be listed under. I may have to go grab a patch off of my husband's jacket just to make sure I get the right one. You like both? Some people do like both parts of the content, and I appreciate that. I don't expect everybody to. Let's see. Let me try one other way. Before I have to go really looking. I'm not seeing it. That stinks. I thought it would be in here, but that's okay. I know his rank isn't going to be in here. Hey, April. How are you doing? I hope your puppy's okay, Patty. Okay, so I'm going to go into Google. Making sure you guys can still see me. Okay. So let's see. I hope this doesn't give me an issue. If this is gonna be, yeah, this is gonna be a pain. I probably should have downloaded these images first, because finding images that will translate over to Design Space is always an issue for me. And that's probably because I don't know how to work Design Space as well as other people, but that's okay. Maybe this one will be better. Yeah, here we go. This one will probably work. Perfect. Okay, so I've got one image. I just need to print it. I need to resize it, make it a little bit smaller. Let me see how big our space is that we have here. I have about 4 inches of space that I'm gonna work with. So I'm gonna size it down to 3.5 inches. And I am going to also go back and find the flag image, and then I'm gonna print both of those off and do that cup at the same, like print them off at the same time. That way I can just do one cup and then go back and work on the other cup. So this is only gonna take a second. All right. That's not what I wanted. All right, and then I'm gonna go here. And insert the flag image. And then we'll let the Cricut do the rest. no, why? Some images, depending on how you download them, will download so you can use right away in Cricut Design Space and like just upload it into your blank image or blank canvas and it'll print right immediately. Others, if you don't download it or save it right, it will make you go through and put the transparent background behind it. And on images like the flag, it can be a little bit hard and time consuming because you have to go in, and so I'm having to click into each of the stars to make sure that they're transparent. Otherwise they won't print. Okay, hopefully we got them all. Oh no. And then you accidentally push the wrong button and it goes away. Let me see, there's another trick that I've learned recently where you can go into the advanced settings of Google and make sure that the background is transparent. Let me see if this will work. That's not right. That's the patch. I don't need the patch. Okay. I think I maybe have gotten one which will make this a lot easier. I haven't tried to do that yet. Oh, it worked. Cool. That just made this so much easier. Hang on. So once you have it loaded, you just insert it into your canvas with your other image, and then you can print them at the same time. Okay. We'll see how this prints. This one I may have to print a few different times to get it the way that I want it, but that's okay. And I'm just moving them on my mat so when they print the way I want them to, next to each other. And then we'll be good to go. This will print and then we'll stick it on there and do the second layer, and then this cup will just need to dry. And then it'll be ready to ship out after I do the epoxy, which I'll probably have to do the epoxy either late tonight or tomorrow. So it's probably gonna be loud for a second. I don't know how loud this machine will sound to you guys. Alrighty, sorry for everybody who joined while I was doing that. I didn't have chat up. Go back. Hey Amber, I am finishing my brother and my dad's birthday gifts. So they're these two glasses. and I'm starting with my dad's first. So right now I have the images being cut on the Cricut, and then I'll put the vinyl onto the cup, and then we'll do the second layer so we get the two-toned wood grain effect like this one. This was the cup I made. I'm pretty sure I did all of this off of camera. This is the one I made for my husband. Hey, it's just chat. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment on my haircut. Hey, Britt, how are you? Hopefully I haven't missed everybody. Yes, these are the start of some wood grain cups. This is what semi-finished when I ran into an issue on this side, and my husband decided he was just going to do what he did and then wanted me to seal it. So this is sealed. It needs a wet sand and then a final layer of epoxy. But clearly, it's for his truck. If it doesn't make sense to anybody, it's for his Toyota Tacoma. That truck is his child. Hey Angie, how are you? Hey Just Britt. Sorry for everybody who joined while I was setting up the prints. Hey Jersey. Your AirPods keep disconnecting. You know, my normal AirPods that I had were doing the same thing. I still have them, but I got the Pros for the noise canceling like a month or so ago, and I couldn't go back. They're also way more comfortable in my ears because I have really small ears. I hope you don't have the Pros and that's like my future with them. I will be super upset. You epoxy everything. I'm gonna actually pop the chat out so I can see better. It's past your bedtime and you're still wide awake. I've had to deal with a lot of that lately. Hey Pippi, how are you? You have Toyotas. Yeah, my husband has a Tacoma and I have a 4Runner. And the 4Runner was my dream car and the Tacoma was his dream truck. So we have the vehicles that we hope will last us forever. Toyota has a pretty good like their reputation for their vehicles is pretty good. So your hubby's the same way with his truck. I think like vehicles are like a man's thing. You need to upgrade to the Pros are awesome. They are super expensive, and in time, like all the other Apple products, like they will go down in cost. It's just a matter of time. You have an Android. My husband has Android. He absolutely hates Apple. He has an Apple for work. And he's always asking me, what is this? How do you do this? How do you do that? I'm like, okay. Yours had 304,000 miles on it. Yeah, they have good reputations. Both of our vehicles are relatively new. They're not brand new. But they're newer. Okay, so I'm a little, this is not, so I will show you guys what happened. So this is the flag. I need those stars in order to make the wood grain cup the way I want. So I'm probably gonna have to recut the flag and make it a little bit bigger, or try and cut on a different setting so it doesn't peel up. Like the stars parts are cut perfectly, but they are all bunched up. And I know I do not have a steady enough hand to place them individually. So I'm gonna go back into Cricut Design Space and I'm gonna try and print it on this side and change a few of the settings of how I printed it to see if that will make a difference. So I'm gonna take out the one image and I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. What will it do if why'd you do that? Okay. And then I'm gonna go back into Make It and I'm going to change the settings. So whenever if you don't have a Cricut, whenever you go to actually have your Cricut to cut the vinyl, there are a ton of different options as far as your selection of material. And depending on your selection of material will change the pressure of how it cuts. So I am going to go in and change it, and we'll see if it actually cuts. And doesn't peel up the stars this time. So I'm gonna push it back through and we'll see. If not, I'm probably just gonna do this one side for now. We'll see. Hopefully it comes out better this time. The next update, you're gonna use your Apple Care and have them replaced. I can tell you, Britt, that it does, the pros don't hurt. I have really small ears, and they don't hurt. They have different, I don't have them in here, they're out in the living room. I'm sure you've seen them though. They have different, and I didn't know that they came with different little rubber pieces, the part that actually goes into your ear. They have really small sizes and I use the smallest ones. They don't fall out of my ears. They're super comfortable. They don't hurt at all. Whereas with my normal Apple Air, not the Pros, but just the EarPods, those will start to hurt like the inside of my ear, like right here, because my ear space isn't big enough. Your husband has a Tundra and you have a Sequoia. Yeah, my dad used to have a Tundra, and my husband's dad has a Tundra now. Try to back up through iTunes and factory reset. That's good advice. Mine haven't been doing anything since I got my new ones. They haven't. I have my old ones. They're more of just a backup if my Pros die, but they haven't. I can't see if it's peeling. I really hope it's not peeling up. Make sure you factory reset through iTunes. I'm not, although I like Apple products, I typically just take them to a store if I have any issue because I'm afraid I'm gonna mess them up. Yay, this time only 1 star moved, so hopefully I can put it back and weed it nicely so I don't have any issues with it. What is Cricut Design Space? That is the software that you use to print with your Cricut machine. You had a Nissan Altima and you loved it. I had a Nissan Xterra and it was a really good car. I thoroughly enjoyed that vehicle. So here's, I know you guys probably aren't going to totally be able to see it, but this is it printed again, the flag printed again with different settings, and you see it did not peel up the stars. There's only one that's, well, 2 that are slightly moved that are still sticking, so I can just push those back into place. So it's not going to be an issue. Oops. Hey Maybird. You want to get a Cricut, but you haven't made the leap yet. I will say, do your research if you haven't already. Make sure you do your research on the different machines. I got a Cricut Maker like 2 years ago because it was on sale. And I don't use the Cricut Maker for, like, this one is made for like fabrics. I really don't cut fabric at all. I just cut vinyl. So I could have gone with like a Cricut Air or Cricut Air 2, but those ones weren't on sale. I got my Cricut for like 120 bucks 2 years ago. They go for like $300 now. So just do your research. You don't need the most expensive one unless you're wanting to cut fabric. And when I start doing my live streaming with the other channel, I will be live streaming from my camera in probably StreamYards and OBS once I figure out OBS. That way I can share my screen when I do use the design space, so you guys can actually see what I'm doing and where I'm pulling the images from. You have a Samsung Galaxy S9. I had that phone before. I smashed the screen to it. Isn't that the one with like the curved sides? That was the last Samsung phone I had, and I shattered the side part of the phone. I typically, despite what most people, I feel like the common thing is that people are afraid of iPhones and say that they break them all the time. I have the opposite problem. Anytime I had Samsung, I would break it all the time. And I think my very first iPhone, I maybe cracked the screen when they were all glass. Oh no. Yeah, I cut that with too hard a pressure. Luckily, this is the flag that we're not wanting. This just ends up being a waste of vinyl more than anything. So I'm going to be a little bit more careful about peeling the flag up on this side because the flag is so intricate. And if I don't peel the vinyl off of this mat right, it'll cause issues. this is not a big deal. I'm not super worried about it because this piece, I can just get this part up and get some transfer tape and it'll be perfect. So this is just like a little spatula tool that I'm just gonna run underneath here to get it up. I knew it was, I've never had this happen to me before where it cut all the way through the design to the mat. This is the first time I have ever personally had this happen. So the crappy thing is that it did cut everything out. I may have to reverse weed this. And what that means is I have to put the transfer on top of here and then pull it up from the transfer. Pull it with the transfer and then take everything off. We will just deal with the flag for right now. If anything, if I have to, I'll just put this back in and reprint that piece off as well. So here's our flag. I know you guys can't really see it. It's the extra vinyl. Hey, Tina's Crazy Life, how are you? I don't know if I'm trying to find where I was at in the chat. I lost my spot. You use Raycons for your AirPods, or I don't know, what are they called? Headphones. Your son wanted a 350Z for his first car. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I don't judge any parents who do purchase their, that's not true. I do judge people who purchase like brand new, really expensive vehicles for like first time drivers. I will judge you for that. Oh, you were confused what a Cricut is. Yeah, a Cricut is the machine that you use to cut vinyl. I can pick up the machine. The machine is not, it's just my tools that'll get cut. This is a Cricut. And then it lifts up and opens out. Mine used to be up here, but I had to move it down below to be able to film what I was doing. All right. So I am going to weed this really quick. I'm just making sure that the stars are down, because once I start weeding, this can be the difficult part. I probably should just reverse weed this. So I'm going to get some transfer tape, transfer paper. Make sure I don't have a used piece in here. looking like it. So I'm gonna, I just use the Cricut transfer paper for right now. I do want to get the scissor brand transfer paper because it's more durable, lasts longer, you get more uses out of it. And then I'm going to cut off. Make sure I don't use too much excess of this. I can use that piece for later. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna peel this back. So if you're into crafts or you've ever heard reverse weeding, that is what I'm about to do. It's where you have your piece of work or your project, and you take your transfer tape, and before you weed out your work, you place it. This way, when I peel back everything, I'm peeling back the parts that I don't want, rather than trying to weed it out and pull out everything other than the stars. This way the stars will already be stuck to the transfer tape and I'm just pulling everything off of it. So I'll be left with the design on here that I want. This is another reason why I am not a huge fan of having my nails this long, because I feel like I can't get underneath the vinyl as easily. Make sure none of those came off. So this is where we're at. So the whole piece is here. And the border can come off. Around the stars. Now this is probably going to take some concentration from me, so sorry for ignoring the chat for a minute. Or several minutes. I promise I will be back to you guys. I'm just going to take some tweezers to make sure I'm pulling up the part that I want to and leaving down the stars, because this is the hardest part of flag designs, is making sure the stars that you want stay down and that they don't lift. When they do start to lift, you take a little pointy tool and you just hold it down while you peel back the section you don't want. And as long as you go pretty slow when you're doing it this way, you typically don't run into too many issues. Almost. One star doesn't want to detach. There we go. Okay. Whew. Stressful part is over. So this is where we're at. So all of the stars are out. So I just need to weed out the rest of these little stripes, which won't take too long. And then we'll stick it on the cup. So I'm just gonna bend it slightly to get it up, and I'm just gonna pull it right off. So we've got just a few to do. All right, that one. And last but not least, that one. So this is going right on the cup. It's a little bit bigger than I thought it would be on the cup, but that's okay. So I'm sticking it down. I'm being pretty careful about the stripes of this because the cup goes in. So I'm probably gonna have to put in a few little slits to make sure that this goes down the way I want it to. So I've folded it up, and I'm just gonna slowly work it down, pulling on it so it goes as flush with the cup as I can get it. So now I just need to work with the bottom part of this flag to get it to go down onto the cup. And there is probably going to be some fighting with this for a minute to make sure that it doesn't crinkle. Where is... I am taking the knife to it because it's a little bit bigger than I had anticipated. If it was like half an inch smaller and it wasn't going into like where it starts to divot in, I wouldn't have this issue, but because it goes down, I may just cut off this bottom part where I'm having the issue. fixed it. All right, some comments aren't showing up. Let me go see what you guys are saying. Sorry, I knew I needed to concentrate to get that part done, but this is what we have. I'm probably going to also make this line up here a little bit thinner. And this vinyl, despite me going through all of this work, this vinyl is not gonna stay here. Like once I get the next layer on, I will be peeling this vinyl off. So it'll be like a peekaboo. So this is why people charge so much for these kinds of cups, because as you guys can tell, it takes time. Like this is only one image and I've been on here for an hour doing that. A lot of time goes into them. Let me see what you guys are chatting about, making sure I'm not missing anything. Sorry, I've kind of let you guys chat on your own. Hey Jersey, can't remember if I said hi to you or not. Looks like we're talking about cell phone carriers and going over data. I understand. Yeah, I have gotten lucky and have had unlimited data pretty much since I've always had a cell phone. We have been grandfathered in. We have AT&T currently. We've had Verizon before, but we've had AT&T for the last couple of years, and we've always gotten lucky with whenever we have changed characters, they were always doing promotions to have unlimited. So I'm going to cut off the excess on this so I can reprint this other side, the other image I'm using for the other side, so I can go ahead and start working on getting the second layer on. So I am just going to, I don't remember what setting I used when I did that cut the first time, but it was clearly way too hard of pressure for it to like individually be stuck on here. So I'm gonna do the same image. Hey Gaming Granny, I just saw you joined. Sorry if you've been here for a minute. I promise I'm not trying to ignore everybody. I just want to get going on these cups. Okay. Shifted this down just a little. Continue. It does this to me every time. It says it can't register my Cricut, so I have to unplug it and plug it back in. Okay, I'm going to make sure I pick what I picked last time for my material to make sure it prints the way I want it to. And that was foil iron on. Okay. Feed that in and then start it. You miss phones with keyboards? I miss using, and I've talked about this with my husband recently, is that I miss T9. Like, you know, flipping the phone up and just using like the numbers. I miss being able to do that because that literally was easy texting. Ow, I just poked myself. Your first phone was a track phone from Nokia. What? So, little info about me is my parents didn't, it wasn't like I wasn't allowed to have a cell phone, but I didn't have a cell phone until my senior year of high school. I'm pretty sure I got my cell phone my junior year as a Christmas gift. So halfway through my junior year, I got a cell phone, I believe. And the phone that I got was it Sony? I think it was Sony. It was one of those like MP3 playing phones that like slid up. The screen slid up and there was not like sideways. It wasn't a sidekick. It just slid up and you had your little dial pad. That was my first phone. And then when I moved out of my parents' home when I was 18. And I got on because I was trying to be an adult, you know. I think I'm probably not the only one who quickly left their parents' home and looking back wishes you didn't. At least that's how I feel about it. I was trying to be on my own, so I went ahead and got my own cell phone plan and all of that. Why did I rush the gun? Why did I want to be so independent? All right. So here's our second image. Perfect. I'm gonna cut off the extra vinyl here, making sure I don't cut into the image. You never know when you'll need a scrap piece of brown. Probably said no one ever, but I keep all of my scraps. Most crafters do. So, for this one, that's the wrong cup. That works out perfectly. So I'm gonna weed this really quick. This one's not gonna take near as long because the lines are pretty straightforward. And then we'll get this on the cup, and then we will finally start our second layer of the wood grain. And it really doesn't take long for the alcohol ink to dry. It dries within a few minutes. So the good thing about this stuff is you guys will see, you'll be able to see like just about the finished product, except for it being epoxied. I don't know if I will epoxy the cup tonight or not, or if I'll just let it sit. All right. Now we're putting our image onto transfer tape. Hopefully this is the right, I'm gonna have to run out and ask my husband and make sure that this is the right rank before I put this on the cup, and that would not be good because I can't remember what my dad's rank looked like. Since my husband is Air Force as well, he will know if I printed off the right one. So I am gonna go check with him. Give me just 1 second. Hey. Is this the right rank stripe for Dad? Good news, guys, it is the right one. So we can put this on the cup. Alrighty, so let's see. Come on. Perfect. So here's our image. Now we're gonna place it on the cup. Oh no. Most people who do this have something that they set the cup in. I usually use my legs for it to balance on, but these cups are not normal shaped, so I kind of can't do that. All right, so I believe, don't stick down. I need to move it up just a little bit. No, come on, Star. I want to move it up on the cup just a little bit from where I have set it. Can't get it up. Come on. I just want it to stick to the transfer tape. I want it to stick to the transfer tape. All right, finally got it up. If I can't get all of it to come up, then I may just set it down and figure out. I got a crinkle in it. That's why I'm trying to lift it back up. I don't want a crinkle in it. All right. The top part's not going to come up, so I'm just going to try and do the same thing that I did for the other one and just stretch it and pull it down. And hope that I can get the sides to stick down. All right. So save that piece. I'm really not the best about making sure I save my transfer tape. Oftentimes I just toss it, but I need to get better about keeping that kind of thing. So I'm just gonna smooth this down, and because this is a rounded surface and these are straight lines, I'm probably gonna need to cut little slits in the vinyl to make sure that it sticks down, because if it doesn't set flat on the cup, whenever we go in with the alcohol ink, it will slip into any bubble that there is. So I'm just gonna make those little cuts now. I want the lines to remain as straight as possible. So, let's see. Perfect. One last little bubble I see. All right. You would have said 10 cursey words by now. This kind of stuff, although it does take patience, and I'm really not that patient of a person. This stuff is soothing to me, so I can manage. Don't get me wrong, there's some projects that I start that I do get extremely impatient about and do end up like getting frustrated and walking away from. That happens. So there's one little bubble on the side of the flag that I want to also cut down. So this is going to be that cup. Sorry if you guys have been talking about anything and I've not been paying attention. That part takes a lot of concentration. Why is this pin clicking? I don't know why this twists down here. I know the blade can be changed out. Maybe that's why. Oh, yeah. It's a lock and unlock. What you guys saying? Oh, good night. It's just chat. Sorry, I didn't see if you've left already. You wish you had the patience for diamond painting. I did one and I started a second one and I just have not had the time to finish it because the second one that I started is a lot bigger. So now I need to get my alcohol ink out and I need my paintbrush. And I'm pretty sure I dropped it way down here. Or at least I thought I put it down here. I liked the one I was using, I just don't know what I did with it. I don't see it down there. I have these other ones, I might look for it. This one will do the same thing. But I liked how the other ones turned out. It's not in there. I'll use that one if I have to. Here it is. So a lot of why I like this one better is because it's more stiff, and that actually helps get the appearance of wood grain a little bit better than a soft, like this one's pretty soft. A soft one will do. So I am going to start off with caramel or caramel, however you pronounce it. I'm gonna put some of these tools away first because the stuff gets everywhere. And I'm gonna move this cup over here so it doesn't get covered in brown. Same with this cup. Set that down here. And I'm gonna move that there. The rest of the stuff is okay if it gets some alcohol ink on it. So I'm going to start off with caramel because that's the next darkest one. And I am just going to triple check and make sure there's no lifts on the lines, because if there are, then the ink will leak under them. And then I'm just gonna start dripping it onto the cup and brushing it out. This is gonna make my arm and everything have spots on it. That's all right. And it dries almost instantly. So I'm gonna try and focus really on the areas in between. And get this part to where I like it, and then we'll move along around the cup. Once I get this little bit done, I'll see what you guys are chatting about. So because this stuff dries so quick, if I'm not quick enough to get it moving around, it won't look like wood. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. I feel like I totally missed something. Don't feel that you guys have to repeat it if you guys understand where. You guys always know, or at least maybe I should reiterate it. If you guys ever need somebody to talk to, you're welcome to reach out to me and DM me. I'm a lot more available now than I was before. So if you guys ever need anything, just need someone to talk to vent to, whatever you tell me in private stays private. Unless you ask me to say something publicly, I won't. Drop some of it in this little cup and just dip my brush in here. It moves quicker if you drop it onto the cup and then brush it, but sometimes you get some weird lines like right here. I don't know if you guys can see that one line where it just dripped before I got to it. So that doesn't tend to happen whenever you dip into the product and then brush it on. And since these are gifts to family, I am going to be super tedious about these being covered all the way and it looking really nice. In any of these kind of cups, you have to go over the image pretty well or else you won't have a strong enough contrast. I'm not too worried if the bottom of the cup isn't wood grain like or wood like. Right. Go over this image a little bit more. And then I'm just going to go over the areas in between, and then I'm going to move on to the darker color. Spot's still pretty light. Do a drop. Really brush it in. All right. So this is where we're at. I'm gonna toss this one so I don't use the same cup on accident. And I'm gonna put the lid on this one, and then I'm gonna do just a little bit of ginger, which is the darkest one, around the cup. That confused look on my face was priceless. Yeah, I'm not sure what everybody is talking about. And I don't want to assume I know what people are talking about, and then, you know what they say about assuming. Because I have no issue speaking my mind. I think those of you who are still here at this point watching me do this understand that and know that about me. But other people probably, I don't think really know that about me, that I really, do I want to cause issues with people? No, but am I going to be honest with you guys? Yeah. I think that's what makes a creator genuine. Personally. So I don't want to just speak and maybe bring up stuff that's not being talked about. All right. This color, I mean, the name is ginger, and as you guys can, well, I don't know if you guys can see because it dries so fast. When you put it on the cup, it is rather red looking. Maybe I'll do it right here. Yeah, you guys can kind of see it goes on pretty red. So I don't want to do a whole lot of this color. I just want to bring a little bit of dimension to to the cup by brushing this through lightly everywhere. I just remembered my sheets are in the wash and I still need to put them in the dryer. Does anybody else's brain work like that? I always forget laundry. That's like, I always have a load of laundry like in the wash or in the dry, but I forget about it. She's looking pretty good, guys. At least to me she is. Hopefully you guys are liking it. Alright. I think I'm going to hit it in just a few more spots with this color and then I think I'm going to leave her. Let it dry all the way down for a few minutes and then take the decals off. I just hope it's dark enough. The chat is all over. Okay. Very random today. Okay, that's fine. You guys know I don't care. You guys can chat about whatever. Especially since I haven't really been paying attention to the chat. Fractions, equations, Sasquatch, and flip phones. I'm not good with fractions. I don't think I've ever seen Sasquatch before. I've never like had an encounter with him. I definitely do. I don't know if I've talked about this with you guys. I do believe in stuff like that. Like I believe in aliens. I believe in the paranormal. I'm very much, I don't like act on superstitions, but I believe in superstitions. Flip phones, I never had a flip, well, there was one period of time I had a flip phone for just a little bit because I had broken my phone and I was waiting for the replacement to come in the mail. But I have always had like a flat phone or the slidey ones. Welcome to Oregon, that's where Sasquatch is. He's got names for the different areas that he's in and different countries that he's in. So, it's dry. This part makes me nervous, is taking off the vinyl, especially these little stars. They make me nervous because if I slip and I scratch into the cup. So you have to be very, very careful about peeling it up. Nice. It's worked out very well, guys. So far, so good. Nice. Where you live, there have been alleged sightings. Oh my gosh, Amber. I cannot get into that show. Like, although I believe in stuff like that, I can't watch that show. My husband tried to watch it a while ago, and I was like, nope, not happening. You can watch that when I'm not home or when I'm not around. It's a little too much for me. All right. Well, that little spot doesn't look bad, but it could be a little bit more defined than what it is, but I'll take it. I mean, at this point, it's kind of hard to go back. I'll take the stars off in just a minute. Those are going to take quite a bit of concentration. All right. Right, Amber, I agree. Like, we would be shallow-minded to not think that there aren't other existence, other beings in the universe. All right. Can't see part of the star, and part of the flag is a little dull too, but sign still trips your belly and gives you anxiety. All right, these are stressful little pieces because they're so tiny. All right. I'm getting there. I'm just trying to move them so they're not stuck to that spot, so I can go by and just, hopefully with a piece of sticky paper, pick them up. Some of them are coming off easily, some aren't. They're just sliding, so I'm just trying to move them around so I can go in with some tape and pick them up. have all been shifted. Where's the painter's tape? There it is. All right. Let's see if this will get it up. We'll see. This might work, it might not. Worked on some of them. The Mothman prophecy gets to you. I don't, you know, I'm one of those that, although, like, I don't let it bother me. You know, and I know a lot of people, like, for instance, my husband, if he thinks about that kind of stuff, aliens really freak him out. He believes in that, and like if he thinks about it, he'll start to get anxious. I don't really get anxious. I mean, if other beings and mythical creatures, like if they exist here with us, which I personally believe they do, if they had any ill intent, I think they would have already, you know, gotten rid of us all. That's just how I feel about it. But I definitely respect other people's feelings, and I can understand why people are more fearful or get more anxious about things like that. Why won't it come up? Some of these are just going to be a pain for me to get off. Maybe this one will work better. A Zoom conference on movies somehow. I think people call those like watch parties, where creators watch stuff with their audience. Isn't that what those are? I think people do stuff like that. All right, these are coming off. They're just, it's about 10 of them that really, they're not, like I can move them on the cup, but they're not sticking to this tape. So I'm literally having to like scrape it. Here's the ones that are left. I'm having to scrape those up to the top so I can take them off, because they won't come off on the tape. And I have to be careful, because if I let this metal sharp piece get into the ink we just put on, it'll scratch it up. And then there's like a line. That happened with this cup that I did for my husband a few times. And he went in and he fixed it the way he wanted to fix it, rather than letting me just start over. He has no patience, if you guys can tell. Just that one, you don't know why? I mean, if you really think about all of those, like Sasquatch, the Mothman, The ones that, I'm not going to lie to you guys, the ones that freak me out more than anything are like some of the Indian shapeshifters. Those freak me out more than anything. I'm not scared of them. I kind of have the same mentality, like if I wasn't supposed to be here or something like that. I guess, is that like a fate thing? I don't know. Oops, my computer just timed out. Dango is a good cowboy movie. Night of Shyamalan. You loved Signs? Yeah, I like the movie Signs. My husband doesn't like watching it. There's one alien movie that he watched, came out a couple of years ago. What was that movie called? I think it had a number in it and it had to do with aliens. He watched it while he was deployed. And I think to this day I still haven't seen it because he is so freaked out by it. Or did we watch it? Did I make him actually watch it with me once? Because I wanted to see it. What was that movie called? I know we watched it because I watched it and I only watched scary movies with him. I won't watch them by myself. What is that movie called? Maybe you guys know. It's where the aliens like visit you and you don't know about it. They were visiting like a little kid or something like that. I'm sure if I went and asked him, he'd be able to remember. And I really don't remember the movie in more detail than that to describe it to you guys. When I tell you guys I have a terrible memory, you're seeing it in action. Even if I sat here and thought about it, I won't remember it. It might come back to me like randomly in a few days. And then I'll be like, why am I thinking about that? That makes no sense. Dark Skies. Yes. Thank you. I'm glad I gave you enough information to be able to pinpoint what movie I was talking about. Yeah. That movie, he refuses to watch that. I think I got him to watch it once because I wanted to see it. I mean, it creeped me out, but the only movie that ever like really bothered me, and this is gonna sound really crazy because I've seen a lot of scary movies. The only one that really bothered me was The Ring. And it's only one scene in that movie, and that's when she comes out of the TV. Nothing else about that movie scares me. Nothing else freaks me out. It's just when she comes out of the TV, I can't. It totally gives me the creeps. I don't know why. But I can't think of like a movie that I have seen that has to do with that kind of stuff where I was actually scared. But I'm also the kind of person who enjoys watching like scary movies, and then I'll watch like something really ridiculous and funny afterwards so I don't think about the scary movie I just watched because I'm afraid I'm going to have nightmares. But I can't remember the last time I had nightmares from a movie or a show that I've watched. Alrighty. There she is. That is what she looks like. So this one just needs to be epoxied now. Whew. An hour and 40 minutes later. Have I seen fire in the sky? I have not. Wrong chat. I do not understand how you guys can multitask between two different chats. I can't do that at all. It's either one chat or no chat. And even honestly, if I am paying attention to the chat, it's like I partially hear what whoever is holding the live says. And if I listen to whoever's talking, then I don't pay attention to the chat. It's like one way or another. And I used to not pay attention to chats at all. I started to pay attention to chats because people be shady in the chat. I'm not saying it's you guys, but there are some people who are super shady in chats, which there's nothing wrong with that, but you can get some real tea if you pay attention to people's chats. So that one is done for now. And I think for my brothers for now, let me see if I can find a saying or something. You find scary movies hilarious. I don't find them funny, but Night Gaming Granny. Okay, let me see if I can find what is it? Okay, so I didn't know this about my brother. My brother is younger than me. I don't know if I've shared how old he is before or not. Not that it really matters, but I just found out from my mom, because I told her I was doing these for their birthday gifts. And I told her my idea for my dad, and she said that that would be a really good idea. And then I told her for my brother, I really didn't know other than to put like my beer or something like that. And she told me that one of his favorite shows, series of recent, maybe the last year or two, has been Star Trek. So I just thought I'm going to do the Star Trek logo on one side and put my beer in text in the other side. I was gonna try and like come up with like a popular saying from Star Trek, but I think this will be kind of funny. And it's not like, I told my mom, I told her, I said, I'm not expecting them to like take these out with them. I'm figuring they're gonna use these when they're at home and they're drinking beer together or just hanging out on the porch or something. Oh, really? That's not what I wanted. Let me try. Doing this one and see if this one will load the way I want it to. Continue. Cool. Just save it as a cut image. I don't know why, I think there was an update with Design Space where It's so frustrating. Where now almost every image saves as a print and then cut immediately, and it's really annoying. Because if you don't change it from not being a print to cut, if you don't catch it, it throws everything off. So I am going to try and find a kind of manly font, I guess. I don't know what really qualifies as a manly font. So I'm just scrolling through the different fonts that I have on my computer. I'm picky when it comes to font. Is anybody else like that? I can't see the chat right now, by the way. I'll look at it as soon as I get a font picked. What does that look like? Well, that's kind of cute. I don't know if I'm gonna leave it. Okay, so I don't want it too wide. Let's see. Set it down here, give me a better idea. Just gonna have to play with the numbers here for a minute to see what'll work. That will work. That'll work perfectly. So where did I put that mat? Here it is. I need to get some vinyl to cut on. I'm gonna just use this green because again, I don't see many uses for this color green. Try to go grab colors that I don't think people will want. I have a whole bunch of vinyl that I need to unravel and put out. Got some really pretty colors. I'm super excited. Okay, gotta turn the Cricut machine on. Once I get this going, I'm gonna pop over and see what you guys are saying. But I know this is gonna give me an error. I don't unplug it and plug it in. Okay. I think I am gonna actually set this off to the side here. Nice. Okay, why is it not just saving? My last one that I used. Typically it automatically just saves the last setting you use, but it hasn't been. I'm going to use the same pressure and material as last time so I don't run into any of the issues I did. Perfect. If your internet's annoying you tonight, Britt, I'm sorry. Oh, I am not organized. It may seem that way, but I mean, you can see part of my mess here. This looks organized up here, but I'm not. I just am the organized that I know where everything's at. Even if it's a mess, I know where everything is. My husband will ask me for the smallest, weirdest little item, and I will know where it's at, and usually it's in a really weird place. And he's like, how did you know it was here? Why is it here? I don't know. I think it has to do with like my ADHD or something like that. I don't know. Have I had Lindt Napoleon chocolates? I have not. Do they have a strawberry flavor? It's another weird. I like strawberry, like ice cream and stuff like that. know if those are too big. I feel like it's a little too big. Yeah. I don't mind how big the logo is. Like, I actually don't think that I could put that any smaller, but the words are too big. So I'm gonna have to resize it down a little bit. That's okay. That won't take very long. I'm just gonna cut this image off so I can load it back in and get the text. Get the text on there too. Okay, sorry if I froze. I need to go get a phone charger because I will at least finish this cup with you guys. Let me go grab that before my phone just keels over on us. Hang on. Okay. I am back. Let me plug you guys in. I think I should plug you guys in solely and not into my computer. Come on. I don't know what is plugged into what. Okay. Let's see if this works. I don't know how to tell if it's charging or not. What is this plugged into? This okay, so my phone is plugged in. Hopefully it's actually charging. I don't know how to tell if it's actually charging while I'm on a live, so I'm going to resize this down just a little bit, the words, so it'll fit better. And then we'll get this on the cup and we'll dye it. What is it? Why is it not going? Why does it keep doing this every time? I'm gonna have to go into my settings and see if something is going on with my settings. Because that's rather annoying to have to do that each time. It's not your iPad, it was me because my phone was giving me a warning saying that it was about to die. Hopefully this will be better. Guess that's just gonna have to sit on the floor. I didn't want it on the floor because those mats they're sticky. And even though the dogs aren't supposed to be in here, recently they've been coming in here. Therefore, there's dog hair in here. All right. This cut. Hopefully these designs are actually unintentionally are easier than the other two that we did. So this cup shouldn't take near as long as the other one did. I just need to quickly weed this out. It seems to be, Tina, I appreciate whatever you are sharing with everyone. I feel kind of bad that I haven't been keeping up with the chat, but I appreciate anytime anyone is willing to disclose or talk about things that they have experienced. It helps others to kind of be more educated, break down stereotypes no matter what it is. So, we are getting there. Oh, I'll probably put it in the middle of the cup. Don't know where that little piece went. Alrighty. So we have our design, so I'm gonna transfer them onto the cup. Ouch. Turn the Cricut off because we're pretty much done with that for tonight. I think once I get these decals on and I get this wood grained, I am probably gonna call it a night. Tomorrow, oh come on. Tomorrow I will be doing a live stream afternoon my time. My time's kind of different than most people's. Just like a get to know me Q&A style live stream. People can ask whatever they want about me, about the channel, whatever you guys want to know. It also should have my video on Katie Morton and Eugenie Cooney should be done by tomorrow and hopefully live. So there should getting into some regular content back for you guys. And it's only gonna go up from here. Use the X-Acto knife. I'm doing what I did on the other cup, and I'm just cutting where there's bubbles because it's a rounded surface to make sure that the lines are straight. That one cut, yeah. And then let's get the words on. I have a few, and I might do, I don't know. I don't want to put too much on my plate for tomorrow, but I have some other crafting stuff I have to do, and I have some sayings that I want to iron on some of my own shirts. Some plain t-shirts that I have laying around. That can be difficult depending on what I decide to stream from though, so we'll see about that. All right, so try and make sure that it's somewhat even. Put this on. And then just gonna make sure everything is smooth on before we move on to the next part with the ink. All right. Let's see. Also, that's something else that, I mean, I see some of you guys just supporting one another, which means so much to me that you guys do feel comfortable to be vulnerable in my chats and to let people know like what you're experiencing, not only for others to know and maybe learn something from, but also just to help yourselves through the healing process. I have thought about it, and I just don't know how it would go over, or if anybody would want. I've thought about allowing, I don't know if that's the right terminology to use. I've thought about proposing to people who are a part of this channel to any degree, if they ever want to discuss like openly about their experiences, if they've struggled or if they've gone through anything and they're in a good place and they want to have discussions about what they've experienced. I have thought about offering that to people. I just don't know if people want to be put in that position or not. It's always something that I've kind of thought, and I've mentioned here or there, but I've never followed through with like actually talking about doing it for real, because I know it's easier to say that you want to talk about things and think that you're ready and end up not being ready. And I don't mean that in a bad way. But I also don't want people to become triggered or overwhelmed because they feel that they need to tell their story when they're not ready to. If that's something that you guys are interested in or would want to be a part of the channel, let me know, because I am definitely open to doing that. Like a panel type and I don't want to call it a panel. It would be more you telling your story and me just asking questions and like providing support through that. I don't know. Maybe I'll mention it over the next couple of live streams and see how people feel. If that's something that people would be interested in. All right, so the decals are on here, so I'm just gonna go in the same order I did with the other cup, going in with caramel first and then going in a little bit with ginger after. I'm gonna try to be more conscientious of getting this color over the lines pretty well, because there were a few spots on the other cup that weren't as, it wasn't as poppy as I had hoped it would be. It turned out fine. I'm not upset with how it turned out, but I'm gonna be sure to really go over the lines on this one, especially since there's not as much going on with this cup as there is with the other one. The other decals are a little bit more in your face, so to speak. And if any of you guys who are in the chat currently, or anyone who watches this in the replay, if you get this far, if that is something that you would be interested in participating in, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. You don't have to tell me your story if you haven't. You can just say yes, you would like, you think that's a good idea and you would like to participate and be someone who shares a story. Oh man, I just flung that all over my arm. Alrighty. We're getting there with this first layer. There's like a grace period with these alcohol inks. Like it's, you can overwork it, I've found out, to where it won't have like the strokes that look like grain. And there's a period where it doesn't really, it just looks like a blob. All right. Chat just turned off. So we're almost, just got this one little spot right here to kind of get through. And then I'm going to go to the darker color. All right. I'm going to touch the bottom real quick with whatever is left in this little cup. Alrighty, so there's that one. You guys, it looks like I have a whole bunch of freckles on my, which I do have freckles, but those are like my real freckles. Just adding some more extra beauty marks to myself tonight. That's okay. All right. And then I'm gonna go in with just a little bit of the ginger around the cup, and then we'll peel off the decals and we'll see what we have. am working in like a little notch. Trying to give it a little bit more personality. All right, probably just do this last little stroke here, and then I will put some down on the bottom of the cup. Alrighty, call it good. Ow, my back hurts. These are actually alcohol inks. They're different colored alcohol inks that I'm just working to get the wood grain effect. Where's my straight little tool? I want the ink to be totally dry around the edges before I try to peel the decals off, but you can see where they're at. So tomorrow I will probably be epoxying 1, 2, 3. I have 3 cups I need to epoxy, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 more pour cups I need to do for my mom. I just have 3 cups that I need to strip that I want to use for those pour cups. I also learned that although I'm going to continue to pour the last few the same way I have been, I know why it's taking so much paint, because you're supposed to add a, I don't even know what it is. I didn't pay enough attention at the store when I was at Michael's, but when you do acrylic pours, you're supposed to liquidate more of the acrylic to make it thinner so it pours over whatever you're pouring it on better. I could have bought it, but I only have a few more cups for my mom that I need to pour, and the goal is for them to look very similar. Obviously they're not going to be identical because they're all unique, but the same effect. She wants them all to have the same effect. So I am going to continue to pour the last few that way. But for any future acrylic pours I will get that mixture, whatever it is, so it pours over better. I am still here, but this is the last bit, and then I'm leaving for tonight. I'm just taking off the decals to the second cup. Which I think is kind of funny. I don't know. I was gonna be a little bit shady, but I shouldn't be. Thank you, Sue. I forgot you were in here. I just tried to approve the comment, and it was like, oh, somebody else did. And I'm like, that's what it's like to have moderators. Eventually, I will need to be talking to some people. If anyone who is in here doesn't mind to moderate for a few live streams that I'll have coming up over the next couple of weeks, can you reach out to me? There's no strings attached. It's just going to be for a few that I can foresee having issues. So I just want to have some people prepared. If you could just DM me or email me if you're interested, so I can, not that there's many rules, but just so we can be all on the same page. You can ask Sue. I don't expect her to be here. I won't expect any of you guys to be in any of the streams other than the ones that, I mean, you guys can deduce what I'm talking about or what live I'm insinuating will happen that could potentially go haywire. So if you don't want your name on the line with that, I totally understand. Because that is likely to be a shit show. And I'm fully aware of that. Oh my goodness. This M is giving me the hardest time. It's coming off like piece by piece. Of course it would. The last one, and it's gotta be difficult. Okay. So, this text is, I mean, I don't mind the text. You can definitely see it. It's not too girly, it's not too manly, it's just kind of in the middle. I kind of wish it was a little bit like taller, but when I tried to make it taller, it clearly wanted to be wider, but I wanted it to be viewable, like the words viewable from just one side of the cup. Here's the other side. So these are just ready to be, here's the two that we did tonight. So you guys can kind of tell just from what is this, however long this live stream has been. That's just a print off and put on the two decals. I mean, you guys know I've done nothing but do these two cups for the majority, if not all of this live stream. I really haven't been too engaged in the chat. These cups are a lot of work, but it is therapeutic for me. This is definitely something that I enjoy doing. And I know when people are purchasing their products, they will enjoy for whatever it is that you have me make for you. Yeah, you guys can DM me on Twitter, or you can email me. My email will, I don't know how long it'll take for this live stream to load since I'm doing it from my phone. But you guys can look me up on Twitter or on Instagram. I appreciate those of you who are willing to do it. It won't be for a long period of time, and I will explain to you guys why I'm looking for moderators so you can decide if you want to mod or not. But no worries. Those are the cups. Does anybody have any questions before I go for this evening? It's not too late. It's almost 10:30 here. Yeah, Sue, it will be. And I don't even know exactly. I haven't nailed all of that out yet. What time and day. It will be in the afternoon. Tomorrow's live is in the afternoon, but that I don't need mods for that. And the only reason you guys kind of know, I've pretty much, anybody who's probably been here for a while knows, I've tried to steer away from using moderators, and it's nothing against any of you guys. It has more to do that I don't want other people to be held accountable for things happening in the chat. I also don't want to be held accountable for anybody who may go into another chat and misrepresent themselves, because if they do, and they're a regular moderator on my channel, as we have seen, people hold it accountable to the creator, which at times I do think is appropriate, but that's why I've just really stayed away from having moderators. But when I know I'm having a live stream or an open discussion that can bring in people that might want to stir the pot, I like to be prepared. When I've been prepared in the past, luckily nothing has happened, but the few times that I haven't been prepared, things went crazy. So I've learned from my mistakes, and I've learned from mishaps that have happened. I typically like to learn from things and grow from them and not let them repeat themselves. So all right, guys. Well, if nobody has any questions, please feel free, if you have any that you just don't want to post here, to reach out to me. Also, since you are still here, just Britt, I did grab my pros whenever I went to get my charger. Hopefully these aren't dirty. No, they're not. Just making sure. This is the size of the small one, the small little insert. So they're really small, and they're really, really squishy. Like, they're pretty soft. They're flexible. They just pop. If you've not seen, it just pops right off for the different sizes, and it pops right back on, and it sticks right in, and it doesn't hurt. Now, if I have them in my ears and I lay on that side because they're bulky, it'll fit perfectly, but if I lay on it, it will push back and push onto the back part of my ear. I don't typically sleep with these. I may start to fall asleep with having these in, but you feel it in your ear and then you take them out. But that's the only downside. So that is that. Do you want them to sleep in? I'm trying to think of where I was at. It might have been at a Best Buy or something like that. Recently, I was in a store, and it was Bose, I'm pretty sure, that had marketed some in-ear headphones like that are supposed to be meant for sleeping. I don't know. So, okay, well, I am going to go ahead and get off of here for tonight. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. I will be, like I said, I will be going live in the afternoon for an open Q&A if you guys are interested in asking any questions, or whether that's about me, the channel, anything like that. It's kind of going to be a free-for-all. So if you're interested in anything, or you have any questions or anything like that, I will see you then. I may do a crafting stream. I'm not 100% sure. We'll just kind of see. I will try to keep people posted. So if you're not following me on Twitter, that's typically where I'll put it. And if I can remember, I will put it in the community tab. Members, you guys should have access to a weight loss update. So if you want to check that out, that should be posted. You'll have some other videos coming out for members only later this week, and everyone else should get some commentary content over the next couple of days. I just have to do some editing. So with all of that being said, I appreciate every single one of you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye guys.